It's November 22nd, 2024. I'm Admiral Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds. A wonderful Friday to you. I hope everyone is enjoying the lovely, it's really cloudy and gross here in Toronto. The weather sucks. And rain. But you know what, Jeremy? Everything's fine. You know why? I just had my breakfast. I feel good. You know what I had for breakfast, Jeremy?
What's that, Joel?
A double chocolate chunk cookie. Boom. Sorry, I started it early. I'm sorry. Here we are. How are you?
I'm good. It's great. It's a great day. It is. It's like rainy and snowy here and everything. Kind of sucks, but
sounds gross.
But you know, it's a great day because we're here to bring the boom.
I have entered my Lisa Simpson discovers that she has the Simpsons gene point of my wrestling fandom. Are you familiar with this episode?
I don't know what that means.
In The Simpsons, Lisa, for one episode, discovers that she is a Simpson. Okay. And that all Simpsons have a recessive gene that cause them to basically just deteriorate and become stupid. And I feel like I'm at that point. I feel like I was Lisa, and now I have to be stupid, because it might just be the only way that I'm allowed to like wrestling. I'm no longer allowed to try to bring up the discourse. When I bring up the... Hold on. So at the end of this, you're still going to... Yes, actually, the end of the episode does discover that Lisa does not have a recessive gene. Instead, all the Simpson women become smart. I'll still be smart, but I feel like I think it's over. I think my entire life now has to revolve around Rizzlers and Twizzlers and Booms and not trying to hold wrestling to higher standards. No more frame rate talk. People coming at me just being like, nobody cares about the frame rates, bro. Bro, frame rates, bro. No one cares, bro. And I'm like, oh, all right, okay.
Bro.
I don't know. It's DDP.
Vince Russo, like do a segment on us?
Whenever I mention bro, it's always Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, did he take shots at us?
No. Vince Russo can't take shots at a bar. He's useless. Bro. But whenever I say bro, I'm always thinking about DDP. But we've hit the wall. It's over. I'm just gonna drink NyQuil and
some mana.
Maybe I will. Actually. Maybe some mana, and that will make me. Maybe that'll be okay.
It's sad to see you like this, Joel. I feel like what you really need is you need to.
Boom! I need a double chocolate chunk cookie. Boom!
Dude, these guys roll. Why is it all wrestling?
Why are we wrestling? Opening the door to this room? Because I'm being ridiculous, she says. She's dragging chairs into here so that I don't have to
throw them at you.
She should. This is a dining room chair. I don't think I want that.
Oh, she should still throw it at you.
She's called me ridiculous, so clearly she's right. This is wrestling. Wrestling is stupid.
Yeah, you're just now catching on to this?
God, it sucks. But also, it's hella entertaining, so here we are. Wrestling no longer matters. I don't care about your wrestling matches. Frame rates have broken my soul. Nobody asked Toni about it during the interview or during the media call. I took a nap. I was stuck at home. My kid didn't go to school yesterday because he was sick. So I was helping, I was hanging out with him, and I had to take a nap. So I missed the media call. Wasn't going to be part of it anyway. But nobody asked about frame rates, and now nobody cares about me. Except for Ken Bruno. Ken loves us. We love Ken back. He's already donating super chats, and I haven't even said anything yet. For the Costco double chocolate chunk cookie fund. You want to do the boom?
Ken, you know what this super chat gets? It gets a big old
boom!
Boom!
You think we're going to get demonetized already?
For that? No, it's less than 7 seconds. We'll be all right.
Oh, okay, that's fine with me.
It's like a 2-second clip. We'll be fine.
That's fair. Can I mention this? I am so bummed that Jeremy and I were not on the air for the extra 6 minutes before we found this Toni Storm retirement angle. I was like, I could have done a thumbnail. We could have had a whole new outlook, but instead, it was not to be. Toni Storm's kayfabe retirement.
Yeah, I like that Tony Khan just no-sold it. He's like, well, I don't think this is actually happening, so we expect her back pretty soon. Like, come on, Tony, you can't play into this a little bit. Just be like, yeah, she wrote me a nicely worded letter how she was going to retire. It's very sad to see Toni Storm go out like this. She's one of the great AEW champions, one of the great AEW women's champions in the history of AEW. She's really lost herself over the past few months after Mariah May betrayed her, after Mariah May won the Own Heart Women's Foundational Cup tournament, and Mariah May defeated her at AEW All In to win the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm then went to CMLL, and she had a tough time losing a couple matches. She went to Stardom. She had a tough time losing some matches, and she informed me of her decision to step away from pro wrestling, and she informed me of her decision to retire in a very nice letter. She said very nice, kind things, a little sexual. Toni would never say that, but she had a little sexual innuendos in there. But we wish Toni Storm all the best, and if she ever wants to return, she's more than welcome back here in AEW. Instead, Tony's like, yeah, we expect Toni Storm back at some point. She's great, and she'll be back. Like, come on, Tony. Lie to me, Tony. Lie to me.
Jason hits it on the head. Dude wore a neck brace for the NFL draft, but he couldn't sell Tony's announcement. Toni Storm's announcement. Yeah. He's a one Tony guy. I hate it here.
It was kind of lame that he did it. Like, come on. They went through all of this. By the way, we mentioned this. We were off air on Wednesday, and I saw the post. We were still talking after we were off air, and I saw the post about, Toni Storm announced her retirement, and it was complete kayfabe, but it had like no traction. It'd been up for like an hour, and it had like no traction. And then I told you, like, well, I'm about to run an article, so it's about to get traction. And then it, once we ran it, of course, everybody started running it as they should. But yeah, it was going nowhere. Which was an hour.
Which is wild because it was coming from SB Nation. Like, it wasn't coming from like Jim and Joe's podcast. And like, no, I get it. But also, like, it came from a gold check mark. I'll put it like that, for those who care about the Twitter engagement. But like, it felt weird that it hadn't gone anywhere. And then he said, like, well, it's about to. And you were right. I didn't expect it to, just lose out into the ether once we posted it. It was going to gain traction through our socials and through the articles. But yeah, when it was dropped, I was shocked that it hadn't gone anywhere yet.
It was just, SB Nation isn't like this huge. It's obviously a big website. In the wrestling world, I don't think it has a ton of traction because Bleacher Report is the big thing when it comes to that. I like SB Nation. I feel like they're lesser than Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report used to kind of mean something when it was the conglomeration of a lot of different sports teams and networks and everything. But like, it's kind of gone downhill, and SB Nation is below that. Just because that is a gold check mark doesn't mean anything. Blue check, green check, gold check. Who gives a shit?
Gray check. The gray checks are the one that get the most engagement on that stupid platform now.
Do they?
Because gray check is government official. So
I clearly don't know.
Yeah. Remember when that was? Anyway, I don't want to fucking talk about Twitter. I don't use it anymore. But apparently, if you go to Blue Sky, it's all just a big echo chamber. So God forbid social media be a positive place where we talk about the things we like. You know what I like, Jeremy? A double chocolate chunk cookie. Boom! I love that you got that queued up. Cue up a thumbs up, would you? Let's get the pyro going. let's get the pyro going on an early Friday morning. Get your thumbs up. Where are you going? Come on. There you go. Pyro's here. And you can subscribe to us here at FightfulOverbook.com or anywhere you find podcasts. We're here as well. You can leave us a 5-star review. And of course, you can drop a comment in the video If you're on the chat room live and in person, we appreciate it. You can also donate to Super Chat like Ken did earlier. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air, or you can do something like Chi-Town Spurs drop to Super Chat. Said anyone who supports Costco and therefore their commitment to the $1.50 hot dog combo has my support. Big fan. The $1.50.
Chi-Town Spurs, that Super Chat gets a big old boom! Boom!
You think Adam Cole's upset about this? He's in a pretty cold story, and they're running away with this gimmick, man. Well, the Costco guys have to start playing video games on Twitch.
They get a lot of viewers. I've seen people mad about this.
Who could possibly? Okay, make your point, and then we'll go back.
My point is, those people are stupid. That's my point. But I've seen people mad about it. This has no place in wrestling. It's like, well, this has always been in wrestling. Since literally WrestleMania 1, celebrities have been part of wrestling. If you don't understand the Costco guys and the TikTok trends and stuff, I get that. I've said it many times. I didn't know who these guys were 2.5 months ago, whatever it might have been. No idea. And then I've had to write like an article a week at least on them. And I've gotten to know them through this nonsense. It's just hilarious. Like, it's just campy stupidity. It's like, how does something like this just like get over? You know what I mean? Like, they just say boom and they go double chocolate chunk cookie and they're just at Costco. How does something like this like get over? No idea. But it happened. And I think AEW is smart for trying to capitalize on this. They're not getting on the Tonight Show otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to MJF or Swerve Strickland or John Moxley, but they ain't appearing on the Tonight Show. These guys are getting on the Tonight Show, and they've done a good job. Let's also not dismiss the fact that AJ is a better promo than 99% of the people in that company.
And it wasn't even that great of a promo, but it was good enough for people to pay attention.
The promo on Dynamite was like whatever, but like he's done good promos just on social media.
Right.
Like, he knows how to promote. Tony Khan even said, like, I'm going to be on Fox Business with AJ. I've learned a lot about marketing through them. Like, yeah, clearly they do something right. Whether you like it, whether you agree with it, whether you're a fan of it, I get it. It's all taste. But they do something right. They've built a following. They have more followers than anybody else in that company. I made the point on Twitter, and people, it didn't gain any traction, but some people were upset. Sean made the point as well, and of course he has a bigger following than I do. I looked at the likes and stuff after Dynamite. They post every single segment. They clip matches, they clip segments, they post everything on their Twitter. Nothing had over 1,000 likes from Dynamite. Literally not one thing they posted had over 1,000 likes after the show had gone off the air. This is a good half hour or so before the show had gone or a good half hour after the show had gone off the air. Nothing had 1,000 likes except one thing. One thing had 2.5 thousand likes.
Boom! Insane.
The Rizzler got the biggest pop of the night. Oh, people are going to learn some harsh lessons on Saturday when the Rizzler fucking comes out and gets a bigger reaction than 95% of that roster. People are going to be like, oh, what? Huh?
He's gonna come out in the main event of the night, and he's just gonna kick Orange Cassidy and Moxley in the balls, take that briefcase, and he's gonna be the world champion. And then we're gonna sit there, and he's gonna have the press conference. He's gonna be like, "I got 5 minutes, make it good," and that's gonna be it. Rizzler's gonna be the world champion. He's gonna run the damn show. It's gonna be perfect. Who's the Rizzler? Doesn't matter. Tune in on Saturday to find out.
It's on the pre-show too.
Yep.
It's a pre-show thing that if you listen to any QT Marshall interview, he's done a few. We got one dropping with him on Fightful after this show goes off the air. Everyone can watch that. Spoiler. He says, and it was very obvious from the TV, he says like, yeah, we didn't want this to be on TV. It was fine just being on social. It was going to be free on Full Gear. We didn't want to take up any TV time and like get people upset. We didn't want to even bother with that. We want to put it on 0 hour because it's free for the Costco audience, because all the social media posts are free. It's not like they pay for any of this stuff. So we wanted it to be to that audience. And then it just became so big that it's like, well, we kind of got to put some stuff on TV now. Like it's drawing, it's doing numbers. They did a backstage pre-tape on Dynamite. They're doing a weigh-in. That segment's going to be awful, I'm sure, because every weigh-in's awful, but it's going to be hilarious.
And it's on Rampage, and like let's give it up now. Like Rampage has another month and 10 days in its shelf life, give or take. Like it's done. Yeah. The ratings on Rampage are not big. Like it's not the show people are watching. It may as well be a social media exclusive. I mean, the entirety of Rampage. Shit, every week, AEW, if they wanted to get over, this would be hilarious. You know how some people are like, F it, full match from this past weekend at our indie show? AEW should be like, F it, here's the full episode of Rampage from this past week. If they could get WBD to be like, fine, it would be perfect. And every Friday for the next 7 weeks or however long is left, it's not even that, it's like barely 6. If they did that, people would just be like, that's hilarious. And then suddenly there'll be a bring back Rampage support group.
I don't know about that.
Probably not. But the point is, like, yeah, they're going to do away. And this is, again, you and I talked about it. Everything you just said is something we discussed earlier, which is this is a perfect pre-show match. You're building it up on socials. You're building it up on the way in the ways that are great for the Costco guys, because they don't have to be on the show. They just have to do 2.5 million TikToks, like for people following them. That's good. That's great. Use that. Bringing them on TV this past Wednesday, I mentioned I was a little apprehensive, but then I was like, all right, they did a 30-second pre-tape. They knew what they were doing. It was good enough. No complaints. It was fine. Dynamite as a whole was a very different show, and we're going to talk about it eventually. But like this particular promo that they cut on Friday or on Wednesday, I should say, totally innocuous. Totally just like the match they're going to have. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be free on their YouTube, and you can just watch it or don't, because let's face it, 0 hour is a long ass show. But I'll watch this match because it's probably going to be fun. Dude, AJ used to be a wrestler. He probably will be able to pull out some stuff. And by the end of it, we could easily be saying like, shit, that was really good because QT knows how to work. This guy has the experience. It should be a lot of fun. You know, Pile Driver saying it should be the opener. No, it's perfect where it is. In fact, Fightful Select, we reported it's going to be somewhere towards the middle so that it retains viewership throughout the rest of the show. Makes perfect sense to me. They're using this effectively. And that is something that I will not take away from AEW. It's the way that they have used and utilized the Costco guys as a whole. They've gotten them into doors that they haven't had before, and they're using AEW. Like they're saying AEW. They're saying where they're going to appear. They're not making it seem like this is a dirty little promotional tactic. They are part of the show. They're happy to be there. I know AJ in an interview had said, we wanted to do it with some WWE stuff, but then Sanjay Dutt came calling. That's fine. You go to where you want to get the work done, and QT wanted to do it. Like this is, Ken Bruno makes a very good point. By Monday, QT will probably get his flowers, and Costco will probably get hot dogs for the guys. There will be double chunk chocolate chip cookies all over the place just for this match.
They want to put it in the middle of the show you mentioned to retain viewership. So QT said, this is all in the interview. I'm just spoiling it all. QT said they wanted to
on Select anyway.
QT said they wanted to do it in the middle because you have something, whatever the opener might be for 0 hour, and it's like, oh, coming up, Big Boom, AJ, and QT Marshall. Then they do the match, and then it's buy the pay-per-view, buy the pay-per-view, buy the pay-per-view type of thing, which is smart. I think it should main event the pay-per-view, honestly, because it's gonna look real awkward when QT Marshall gets the big power boom and then does the job, brother, and then half the audience leaves because they've already seen the main event.
It's true. I'm very curious as to how the audience will react. I think they'll enjoy it. I think most of the people who are going to go to the show are there to have a good time. They don't care about this or other people's opinions. They're just gonna have fun. Let John Moxley seize a Costco. Let's go.
It does. So this is where I'm sort of sympathetic towards AEW fans. Sure. I get if you were going to do we're the best wrestle, and then it's like, wait a second, you're doing a celebrity crossover and you're telling us we're the best wrestle. This doesn't quite add up. And if you're doing a Jon Moxley takeover and Jon Moxley is like, nobody around here is serious, everybody's just coming out doing goofy shit, and Jon Moxley isn't punching this dude in the face, it is a little bit disconnected. I understand that part. And I truthfully think it should be a little bit more connected. Have Jon Moxley step on some cookies. Jon Moxley actually did an interview with our pal Shaq, not that Shaq.
Well, it depends which interview you watch.
He did an interview with Shaq where he talked about nobody in AEW takes responsibility. And he's like, he mentioned Costco. He's like, if the hot dog person, if the vendor is out of hot dogs, I'll go to Costco, I'll buy the hot dogs, and I'll make sure we have hot dogs. Like, put this responsibility on me. But I do see the disconnect of why doesn't Moxley come out here and like just punch this dude after railing against, oh, AEW's not serious. Everybody just wants to do their dance moves and act goofy, and nobody wants to take seriousness around here. Nobody wants to step up and get gritty and get grimy. And then you got the Costco guys on television doing the boom, and Mox is just like, yeah, anyway, Orange Cassidy, you suck. Let me punch you in the face. I get it. I do. I still don't think that it's worth getting mad about because this Costco stuff rules. The more of the show should be about this, less about this we're the best wrestle nonsense. Who cares about wrestling?
I hope QT Marshall does the post-show presser after he's lost, and he says, I'm old, I'm tired, and I work with fucking children. I'm sick of these kids who can't even manage at Costco. And people just, and that's it. And then he just gets up and leaves.
Good.
And then he talks about how he didn't have any of his matches wasted in AEW. It's perfect. We just wrapped it all up in a neat little bow and we can go. There's a My Way edit for this match. Like, I think it was Not Tom Green posted it.
Did they talk over the
so that's the thing. I wanted to go watch it because I saw it was posted, but I haven't had a chance to listen to it with the audio. And that's all you got to know is did they talk over the audio or did they talk over the lyrics? Because if they did, it's disqualified. I don't want to talk about it. Since when do we interview losers? The Super Bowl. I don't know if they actually interview losers at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's usually backstage. It's not. I mean, technically, this is backstage. So, yeah, makes sense.
No talking. My God, it's the best video I've ever seen. I'm going to praise it to high heaven later on.
It's got to have booms, though, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do things my boom. It's my boom or the high boom.
Yeah, QT's eating like Sam's Club. You know what I mean? He got corn dogs instead of hot dogs.
Yeah, he's got a Nathan's hot dog, not a Costco hot dog. It's a meatless one. It's an Impossible dog. Doing this for my pal Joey Jaws.
He's got single chunk cookies instead of double. It's like it's too much chocolate. It's bad for your heart.
Amazing. QT is going to be.
You know, it's going to go boom your heart from all those double chocolate chunk cookies.
Where's the Rizzler? Where's the Rizzler? I can't believe. I'm very much looking forward to watching the pre-show and nothing else on Saturday.
Yeah, who cares about the rest of that shit?
I'm kind of indifferent to Full Gear as a whole. Let's talk about Dynamite real quick. Well, Chisholm sent a super chat saying sorry, but the Bobby Lashley faction seems more believable to. I don't know what that word is.
Slob on.
Slobber knockering. To I can't even make up a word around.
I think it's supposed to be takeover. I
like
that they're slobbering on AEW.
Than the Mox group. Yeah, okay. Yeah. The Bobby Lashley faction seems more. Sorry, Will, I'm not ripping on you. Just sometimes I don't know what we're doing. It seems more believable to take over AEW. All right. So
first, that super chat gets a big old boom. Boom.
I like how you have to add the boom afterwards.
Yeah, it's a double boom. for the super chats. Any super chats get a big old boom today, folks.
That's wonderful. I love it. All super chats, no matter the denomination, we will give you a big old boom. We appreciate y'all. We really do. Lashley and the Hurt Syndicate against Swerve coming up at Full Gear. This is a match that I'm personally looking forward to. I think there's something here, and I think it's the start of a really fun, maybe a longer term story. Maybe goes to the end of the year. Maybe parts of the Continental Classic play into this thing. I don't know, but what do you think of the way that the spell check got? I'm sorry, buddy. What do you think of what's going on with Swerve and Lashley and the decoy coat and all that stuff? That one was a little silly, but whatever. You gotta add a little silly sometimes. What do you think of this whole thing?
It was fine. I understand the Bobby Lashley beating two people, one of them being Cheeseburger, absolutely hilarious. Apparently, Cheeseburger is going to be on Coexisting with Rob and Maggie at 3:00, so good on them.
Wonderful.
Everyone check out Coexisting at 3:00.
I swear to God, if it's sorry to cut you off. I know you're doing a plug. I swear to God, if it's Rob Wilkins eating a cheeseburger on the air, I'm going to fire both of them.
That's actually fair.
I would just take them both out. I love you, Maggie. I know you're in the chat today. If you do it, we're done here. Also, I would probably stand and good stuff.
So I understand the pop for it's Bobby Lashley and a cheeseburger. Like it's funny. That was good. But I understand also, like, wait, we're just doing Bobby Lashley's debut in a handicap match 2-on-1 against these guys instead of waiting and do it against Swerve. That was a little. You probably could have just waited and done the match against Swerve. It would have been fine. But whatever. Like, it's all fine stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. I like Swerve. I like the Hurt Syndicate. I guess I'm just waiting for the next step with it. Like, I'm more interested in the next step than I am the actual Swerve and Bobby Lashley match, because it's a good debut match, but coming off of the Hangman stuff for Swerve, it's a little bit of a step down, not in terms of the opponent or Swerve's role, but I think anything he was going to do was going to be a step down coming off the Hangman stuff. Like, that's a top tier storyline. And with the Hurt Syndicate, like, it's cool to see them back, but they're back as like this 3. I want to see kind of who that 4th is and who they build from there. So there's nothing inherently wrong with this feud between Hurt Syndicate and Swerve. Like, it makes sense because MVP recruited Swerve. He wanted to talk business with Swerve. Swerve stayed loyal to Prince Nana. Okay, cool. But I'm more interested in the aftermath than I am the Hurt Syndicate and Swerve as it's in front of us.
And that's why I mentioned the longevity of it. I'm looking forward to a match between these two. There's a possibility that a 4th person joins at Full Gear, which, again, I wouldn't hate. That person costs Swerve the match. If it's someone like Leo Rush or someone, that's the thing. Is it a shock or is it someone that we kind of expected? That's kind of the big question. Is it going to be someone that joins the group, turns on Swerve, or just shows up as if they're going to help Swerve and then ends up helping the Hurt Syndicate and Bobby gets a dominant win and Swerve is back to the drawing board? He's got some friends, but he hasn't really called on them just yet. So I'm wondering who it could be. You've got like EJ and Duca, Lee Johnson. Those are 2 people who were with Swerve for a while. I made the reference that I would love to see EJ be the one to join Hurt Syndicate. I know it's kind of random and out of left field, but like, EJ is someone who, in my opinion, deserves that opportunity to not only work with those guys, but to grow within that faction and be more of a part of AEW television beyond just, hey, I'm Swerve's training partner, and sometimes I'm on Ring of Honor in a tag team with my buddy Lee Johnson.
When was the last time I actually wrestled on Ring of Honor?
That's a question that you don't ask me because I do the other show on Thursdays.
Like, they were getting sort of consistent matches, and then the matches were less consistent. So apparently they've wrestled. They're called Lee J. That's hilarious. That's a good name. Apparently they taped a match, but it hasn't aired yet. So maybe it's supposed to air next week. They've taped a lot of matches, so maybe it's going to air next week. They apparently wrestled November 7th was the last time they wrestled. So they've been off the last 2 weeks, but they've taped one. Very inconsistent how much they actually get booked on ROH. I don't know if there's like actual plans for them. Like, yeah, it'd be cool. We've seen EJ in the corner of Swerve, but it's not like really referenced or brought up after that. It's just kind of there, and that's it. And then yeah, they're not really doing anything on ROH TV. They sometimes have matches. So I think there's an opportunity to do more with them. And yeah, EJ and the Hurt Syndicate would definitely be not out of left field. It would make some sense, but definitely surprising when people are looking at Leo or potentially Ricochet in that spot. So EJ would be a little out of left field just because he's not a consistent television presence for AEW. I just don't know if they have plans or see them in any type of way.
And this is kind of the issue that you run into is you're going to introduce another character. You're going to introduce another person while you have others who are either swimming along or just around, and that's it. Like you can't level up everybody when nobody's getting leveled up in general. So for EJ, it's like, that's my pie in the sky. But if you're going to use somebody, it should be somebody who's already featured in some sort of role or just happens to be in a complacent spot. You know, if that's Leo Rush, that's fine. Ricochet's the other one. Ricochet now has a match at Full Gear. They did announce that the International Championship match will happen. But at the same time, it's like, all right. So he won't come out. He will not come out and join the Hurt Syndicate on Saturday.
Might.
He could, if again, depending on where the matches are on each side of the card. But like if Ricochet loses and then comes out and joins the Hurt Syndicate right away, you could make it work. It's just
you make it work. You make it work as Ricochet does lose because Don Callis and people get involved, and then Ricochet joins the Hurt Syndicate, and then on Wednesday he explains it as, I saw what Don Callis and all these dudes did. They cost me. I need some friends too. What better friends than these guys? Pretty easy explanation to me.
Yeah, that's fair. You know who should join the Hurt Syndicate? The Costco Guys. They should just walk up to MVP with a double chunk chocolate cookie. Boom! Thank you. Got you off guard with that one.
I don't know if Bowens is going to be Hurt Syndicate. Like they're more teasing Caster. I feel like that split's happening on Saturday. I've already said that. It felt like they were in this match because Private Party's going to win, but AEW they can't just do a match to do a match and then move on. They got to do an aftermath to a match. Or they got to do a title change, and then that's like sort of the aftermath. But they very rarely, it feels like, maybe I'm wrong. People can go back and like actually scrub through the entire history of AEW. Like, oh, see this. It feels very rarely they just do a title match and then that's it. It feels like there's always a return or a beatdown or something. And it feels like with this, they're going to do the match. Private Party's going to win, and then the turn on Caster's going to turn on Bowens after the match.
Yeah. And again, I can't care any more about Max Caster than I already don't. So sure, let him go be a heel somewhere. Go work
him and Hurt Syndicate. I don't know.
Caster with the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hilarious if he tries to do the rap and MVP's like, cut that shit out. And he just takes away the mic. He's like, you're silent now. And then suddenly Hurt Syndicate are the biggest faces on the planet.
There might be other people in that group who are supportive of the raps.
Oh God. I mean, you try to put a down payment on a truck one time, Jeremy, one time, and you get turned down. Anyway. Oh man. What was I saying? I was going to go with the Lashley thing with the cheeseburgers was really funny to me, not only because of all the things that everyone says, but my favorite Lashley story is his favorite burger story. Do you know the favorite burger story? I turned you on to this one.
I feel like I did an article.
You did. This was the Slater's 50-50 burger where he loves the PB&J burger. And now all they think about when it comes to Bobby Lashley is the Slater's 50-50 burger. love that. I want a Slater's 50-50 burger, but they don't exist in Canada. I think they're kind of like In-N-Out. They're only a Las Vegas, California thing. Very sad. Speaking of very sad, Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is not the first time they've told this story. In fact, very famously, for those who have spent their entire eternity online when it comes to wrestling, Cam Hawkins used to make the joke, and still sometimes does, where is Roderick Strong not going back to ever? And that is the trailer park. Roderick Strong has told this story across every company he's worked for, Ring of Honor, WWE, and now they're bringing it into AEW. It's fine. I don't love that this is what they decided to go with to finish this chapter of the story. Only because this match has no stakes. There's no, like, other than Roddy wants to go after MJF, there's no reason to bring up your dad and your mom dead, your trailer park trash, LOL.
MJF, that's the reason.
I get it's MJF, but again, like, I don't like it because I'd rather it had been saved for something like when Roddy was going for the Cruiserweight Championship. Okay, in WWE, that's when they invoked the story of Roderick Strong, because you want to be bought into the character. You didn't know the character before. I just thought it was a little extreme for a match on the undercard that just most people are down on anyway. Maybe this is them throwing something at the wall, hoping something sticks. But to me, it was just like, I don't know why we had to go that far and why Roddy had to make it still laughy, jokey, yelling Max and being like, yeah, I'm proud of my background and so on and so forth. Just kind of, it exists on a plane, and it's not a plane that I want to see anytime soon.
You can bet on an alligator fucking on this plane.
Money plane. If he comes back, and this is our hint for Full Gear, I'm pulling this clip.
This did nothing for me. This whole feud has done nothing for me. It's Max not being on TV and just drinking his wine in 24 frames per second when it's when the sun's shining through at 9:00 at night. Like
he's in Alaska. Okay. Maybe. He's in Alaska. He's in the land of the midnight sun.
Does very, very, very little for me. This stuff, it's low-hanging fruit for MJF. That's what he always does. Like, it's not shock value to me anymore. It's just not. I'm like, oh, okay, he wishes that his mom had shot him instead. None of this bites to me because he does it every single
right.
But like, he does it every single feud. So it's like, okay, fine. Like, yeah, I do think Christian is actually like better when it comes to that kind of stuff. And that's also another problem, is like, you got a guy in the company who kind of does the same shtick and actually does it better than you do. Like, Roddy's promo was like fine. The fact that he just 8-miled it and he's just like, I've heard this my entire life. This doesn't bother me. It's like, all right, well, because this is what MJF always does. He always does these lines, and then the babyface always just like, oh wow, like I haven't heard that before. The babyface just always brushes off these lines of like, yeah, literally everyone says this to me, and that's why I think MJF, the lines don't have a whole lot of bite from MJF, because it's like, it is the lowest fruit that any troll online will say, and that these wrestlers immediately dismiss. And then Roddy's just like, I'm gonna break your back, and he threw it, I'll make you humble and everything. It's gonna be a good match. After the match, people are gonna be like, MJF is such a great wrestler. Man, can you believe how good MJF is in the ring? And we do that every single time with every single MJF match, because he wrestles like 2 months, once every 2 months. And that's it. The feud just doesn't have a whole lot going for it, because Roddy has been kind of a nobody for the longest time, and they're putting him in this spot instead of Cole because they want to delay the Adam Cole stuff, when they should have just gone forward with the Adam Cole stuff and just given us that match. Instead, you've given us Roddy Strong, who is a great wrestler. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the in-ring work of Roderick Strong. He's become a good television character, but his television character has been largely played for comedy, and his position in the card has been mid at best. Like, when has Roderick Strong been any type of real threat? He challenged for the international title, I think. It was one of those titles. Maybe he was the international champion, actually.
Roddy was the international champion for a
Okay,
short
yeah.
time. He beat Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, so he was the international champion, and then he lost it to Ospreay. And after that, he's just kind of done nothing. And his international title run, even though he beat Orange Cassidy for the title, was just kind of there. And then again, they didn't do anything with him after that.
Well,
So
he
it
had that
became
one
an
match with Jericho
afterthought.
that people liked.
He did what?
He had that one match with Chris Jericho that people liked.
Oh.
The one that they went outside.
Oh, yeah. That was early, though. That was like his first AEW match. That was very early in his run. Yeah, that was before the devil stuff. Yeah. So, like, he's just been treated as a mid-card guy. And so now that's the reactions he's getting. He's getting mid-card reactions against MJF, who has always been a top-tier guy. And MJF, because he hasn't been on television to sell this, and he hasn't. MJF is getting more dragged down than elevating Roderick Strong. Hey, look, Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly was good. Roderick Strong has good matches. This is no knock on Roderick Strong as a wrestler. He's a fantastic wrestler. Kyle O'Reilly kind of in the same boat, though. Fantastic wrestler. Where's he at on the card? Where's he always been on the card? He's the guy who beats certain people and then loses to every top tier guy he faces. That's where they've been. That's where they're going to continue to be until they, I assume, reunite with Adam Cole, and then we'll see what happens from there. Yeah, MJF lost his luster for me, like, during the Wheeler Yuta feud. Because Yuta actually, I thought, got one up on him on the mic. And I'm like, man, you did all this shit to Yuta. And even Yuta was like, yeah, so what? Like, you do this every single time. Oh, let me make fun of the sports team. Oh, let me talk about the lowest thing that I can talk about. And like, Yuta just disarmed him with everything. And ever since then, like, MJF just does his stuff. And it's just like, all right, sure. Some of it's fine, but I got no connection with it.
It should be, the match should have Adam Sandler with MJF in his corner. Or Adam Sandler. Actually, you know what? Adam Sandler should be the wrestler in the match. But no, Adam Sandler should come out. He should be with MJF. And then at the end of the match, he goes up to both men and he gives them a plate of double chocolate chunk cookies. Boom! And then the Costco guys come out and they're like, oh no, that's gimmick infringement. And then everyone hugs in the middle of the ring and they have a foot-long glizzy from Costco for $1.50.
Adam Cole should be smart to like tie himself to the Costco guys.
He has to. They have to do some sort of something with that.
They did it. They took a photo backstage. There might be a TikTok that I did not see, but
the anonymous ITW general manager is not enjoying this.
No, I was trolling her yesterday. Everything.
She just said, I'm calling the police.
Just going boom. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
The kids were singing it yesterday. We were playing some game. And like the kids were saying, we bring the boom. That's what we do. And like, I don't think they actually know who the Costco guys are. Cause I'm like, oh, they're going to wrestle this weekend. They're like, who? Yeah. Well, like, they know the song. I'm like, well, the people who created that song, they're going to wrestle this weekend. So yeah, they know the song. Dude, it's popular. I think I told the story. Like, we went to like a pumpkin farm and there's these like middle school, high school kids, and they're like, we bring the boom, just like singing it as they're picking up their pumpkins.
Amazing. Our pal Ken sent us this breaking news right here.
Oh boy.
Moxley sees us at Costco.
Dude, that would be a great segment, actually.
He just walks around. He's like, yeah, I'm going to take one of these. Hey, Renee, look what's on sale. Renee, look, they got Pampers. We need them for the kid. The kid's 4. So what? She still wear them or not?
That would actually be a great segment. Just Moxley and the group at the Costco just like causing destruction. and whatnot. Where's fucking AJ? Where's the Rizzler?
Where's that
Just
Rizzler?
looking for him.
He was gonna kick me in the balls.
You know they'll do the joke of like they'll like tip over some like fluids, like I clean up on aisle 8. You got to do that joke. It's always a good one.
It's always a good one as we're like, God, it's so hokey.
It is, but like it's great.
Oh man,
I pop every time for that little joke. Is like when they're just fighting through a store or whatever. It's a movie and something spills and I'll clean up on aisle 12. Like, yeah.
Pac is trying to steal some pre-workout. Claudio stops and says, No. Bad stuff happens when you steal that stuff. Trust me.
Yuta's buying white t-shirts in bulk and everything.
They're not buying it. They're just taking it.
Do they do paper plastic? They're asked like, do you want paper or plastic? And they're like, obviously plastic.
They get to the checkout. Oh, we're cashless. Hey, will you expect this big gold belt? Will you take this? No, this thing is worthless. Yeah, it is. You're right. I'm sorry.
He just leaves the title at the Costco. It's like Jericho when he left the title at the Outback.
Longhorns.
Oh, was it Longhorn?
Longhorns.
I couldn't remember if it was Outback or Longhorn.
Oh God.
Mox, what'd you do with the title? I don't know. I think it's over there in the cereal section.
I left it in a box of double chocolate chunk cookies. Boom!
Somebody just buys bulk. When they buy the bulk of cereal, it's like the bags. You know what I'm saying? They got like the bags of the cereal. They like buy that, and there's just some AEW World title. Look at the prize I got. Shit, didn't even have to send in 50 coupons, 50 QPC codes for this. Just it was in my giant bag of knockoff Fruit Loops.
Where would you like to put all the groceries? Oh, we'll just put them in this Halliburton suitcase. Just throw the title out. Who's got the box code? So stupid.
This is way better than what they're doing. They're giving you wrestling matches. That shit sucks.
Awful.
Wrestling.
We gotta load up on duct tape. You guys got any more duct tape? We gotta get some more duct tape. We used half a roll on Orange Cassidy.
They should just go around Costco just duct taping people.
Punching them in the mouth.
Yeah, they just duct tape people, random people, and then punch them. Great.
Oh God, wrestling is dumb.
They're setting fire to everything denim. This denim, nope, can't have any of this.
I can't smell good.
Breaking sunglasses. Just they go sunglass section, just snapping them in half.
Pac puts one on, and he's just like, "I understand now." He just walks off. Oh man, someone in the chat asking, is the Orange Cassidy angle weak? I don't know if it's weak. So the main event, obviously, well, I don't even know if it's the main event anymore, but obviously it's the world title match. So
what's the main event outside? Obviously it should be the Costco Guys.
It should be the Costco Guys, but like,
it's
you're right,
the main event.
This has to be the main event. There's nothing, but here's the problem: is when you start thinking about other matches that could be the main event, kind of takes away from the mystique of this being main event worthy.
How? What do you mean?
This match isn't important enough that you have to think.
There's no other match that's important enough.
That's the thing, but you're thinking of other matches on the card that could just be better suited. I don't know.
I'm not. I don't think any of these matches are better suited outside the Costco Guys.
None of these matches are really doing much. It's just they're all just kind of there. You've got the International Championship match that was just announced. You've got the Swerve match. Again, this is an ensemble cast show. They're not trying to make anything bigger than what, like nothing's bigger. Main event can't be Jericho and Ishii because that's going to be on Dynamite next week. So yeah, these people are saying Mercedes and Chris, that's not hot enough for a main event. Sorry, it's just not this time. It's the main event
shortly.
Yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, the Orange Cassidy stuff, it really feels like we're just kind of waiting to get to the Darby Allin story. And the Darby Allin story is that he's going to get his ass kicked until like Sting shows up and gives him a pep talk.
Hell yeah.
And then Darby Allin's going to win the title.
Sting should win the title. And then he should go. And then Tony Khan comes out, raising Sting's hand in the air, and he goes, "Fuck Eric Bischoff."
Who needs retirement, right, Sting? Yeah, so it just feels like we're waiting for Sting to come back and give a a rah pep talk to Darby, and Darby wins. But for now, they're just going to beat down Darby for the foreseeable future. And Cassidy's going to lose to Moxley. This was the only reason why I'm like, what do you do? Why is this the main event when you're not sending people home happy? Unless you have a big angle to close the show that gives a little bit of promise to the Moxley story. Pardon?
It's a murder.
Well, but that's the thing. That's what I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. It's like I feel like Moxley and the group are going to try to do the plastic bag to Orange Cassidy as well, because that's been their MO. And meanwhile, you got Busted Open, our enemy territory, asking Renee Paquette, hey, how do you feel about your husband committing murder? And she's like, well, we come to work, we don't see each other all day, and then we just kind of meet up at the end of the day. He's had his day, I've had mine, and then we go and we settle up for a nice dinner. We have some sushi, we talk to our daughter, and then we go to bed and we're happy. And I'm like, wrong. Just when I saw she answered the question, I'm like, you've been using that answer since 2018, Renee. Time for a new one. Someone, yeah, I don't know how to feel.
If it is Kenny Omega at the very end, I don't know if it will be, but if it is Kenny Omega, that's obviously a strong close. What if it's Eddie Kingston? That's a strong close.
Is it? And I don't mean like no slight to Eddie. I know you and I are big fans.
What do you mean? Is it?
Is it to close a pay-per-view? Is that big enough? You're comparing Kenny to Eddie in this case.
Well, and Kenny's obviously the much bigger. Yeah, he's the much bigger draw here, much bigger return. But and Eddie Kingston returns pretty big in New Jersey too. They love Eddie.
They love Eddie everywhere.
Yeah, but it's certainly in the East Coast. Yeah, Ken says it. New York, New Jersey area, Eddie's huge.
Okay. I'm just posing the question because comparatively, yeah, Kenny would be the bigger pop, but Eddie would be a big deal locally, or at least to certain fans. We're gonna beat the shit out of each other for 3 minutes.
I think something's gotta give when it comes to this match, and maybe it won't. Maybe it will just be Jon Moxley wins. He keeps beating up Orange Cassidy after the match, and then because the match is over, now people will come out and save him. I did think that it was a little weird. I know Orange Cassidy said, "Hey, don't come out. I need to do this on my own." But it felt like his friends could have helped him when they just get beat down here before the match. Because what if they didn't murder him? And then there is no match for Full Gear. Felt like they should have helped them and be like, look, I know you said we don't help at Full Gear. We respect that. But we want to make sure you at least get to Full Gear. They've proven they will suffocate people and try to kill people out there. Now, they didn't, but the people in the back don't know that. They don't know that they're just going to punch him and bully him. They could have brought out the plastic bag at any time. They could have brought out the chair at any time. So it felt like his friends maybe should have come out and be like, yeah, Full Gear will stay away. You want to do that on your own? No problem. But we got to get you to Full Gear at the very least. Orange Cassidy doing his kick taunts. Those always rule. I always pop for those. And then, standing defiantly, everything. It was fine, but the crowd wasn't super into it. They didn't get that reaction of oh, Orange Cassidy is this was his moment. Look at him. He's standing up to these guys. It's no, he got his ass kicked, and then he just got helped up by his friends.
And that's why I would have liked for him not to have done the leg kick taunts. I think in that moment he should have just done it for real. For real. Because he's dressed in black. He's got a new edge. Thank you, Tony Schiavone, for bringing that up 3 weeks later. And if you do something that at least shows the edge is there physically going into a pay-per-view, then you give at least some sort of feeling that this is a big match. Otherwise, he does the leg kick taunts and it's now you're just going back to being old Orange Cassidy and you're not taking it seriously. So you're tied up. Why would you do that when Moxley's going to beat the shit out of you? And he did. He punched you out. That was kind of where I was why did he go to the leg kick? Why wouldn't you try to prove something more? Why wouldn't you try
his hands tied? What do you want to do?
Do a real kick and try to do something that made it look like he was actually trying, quote unquote, because I want that fire. I wanted him to get a shot in on Moxley, lay him out, or not even necessarily lay him out, but do something that just made me feel like there was more to this ending than I'm still standing, even though you just beat the shit out of me. We've done that already. We've been doing that for weeks. Darby's done it. Orange Cassidy's done it. Give me something a little more. Do something that would have been hit, a hit. Saying that he did to piss Mox off, he's being defined. Sure, but like, he's already got the match. Why not try to take Moxley down? Like, why not try to just beat? Like,
he has his inside. He can't take him down.
He can take him down. You can spear him with shoulders. Yeah, shoulder tackle him. You can kick him with your legs. They're not tied up.
He did kick him.
Could have headbutt him. You can kick him. He didn't.
He did kick him.
He did the kick check is what he did. No, it's not the same.
You can't put your hips into the kick either because his hands are tied.
You can put your hips into anything if you try.
They couldn't do but so much there. And he was beaten down already. He just had a match where he got his ass kicked for 90% of the match by Wheeler Yuta. So he couldn't do but so much.
He's got the main event on the pay-per-view, and the third guy on the chain is the one that's why I don't like it.
I thought the kicks were fine. I wasn't that mad about the kick spot. I thought it was fine. And he got punched out. I was more mad at that his friends didn't come out to try to at least help him in this instance and explain. Yeah, we got to get you to Full Gear, dude. Like, we got to make sure you get there, and then you can fight him on your own.
Then you can die with a plastic bag around your head.
Yeah.
All you got to do at the end of the night, Moxley standing tall, briefcase in hand, doesn't even show you the title, and then out comes the Rizzler, just the Rizzler on his own.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, and he says, Moxley.
No. What?
What do you? What? I haven't even
fine.
Continue.
Moxley,
I like your game,
and
I want to join your group. And Moxley's like, no, you're not joining our group. You are leading our group. And then out comes AJ and the other kid, and they do the double chocolate chunk cookie. I just play the clip.
No, I'm not going to do it because your heart wasn't into that one. So
I was not into that one. I had it, and then you decided to cut me off.
Well, the problem is, Joel, you want the Rizzler to speak. No.
I just want the Rizzler to lead. He's got to be the leader.
No, the Rizzler comes out, and everybody's staring around like, oh, fuck, what's going to happen? And then the Rizzler does the Riz. I don't even know what the Rizzler. It's like people's eyebrows, something like that. I don't know. Yeah. He does the Riz face. And then just fucking everybody just goes away. They just all disappear. It's like Thanos. That's the finger snap right there. He does the Riz face.
They've got
and then everybody just
on. They got the harnesses on. They all just go up into the rafters.
Yep. That's it. He doesn't speak. He does the Riz. That's the whole purpose of him.
You're right. And then they all come down and they celebrate with a big bag of double chocolate chunk cookies. Boom! There, we brought it back.
That's it. That's how you send the people home happy.
Oh, God. Full marks to the Perry and Garcia segment.
Sure.
No, you know why?
They did the one shot in 30. Was it shot in 30?
No, I think maybe it was, but it doesn't matter actually in this case because this wasn't presented as live. It was presented as we're throwing you to what happened. Right. What I did like is they actually got rid of the one trope in wrestling that a lot of people hate. Why was someone filming? And in this case, the person filming was Daddy Magic. They actually gave him the camera and they made it look like he was the accessory to the assault, not some random camera guy who came along for the ride. Little things like that, I will give marks to. Segment itself was garbage. And Jack Perry still tied up, trying to fix his bus or get out of it, whatever. But like, give him credit for credit's due. They filmed it in a way that made you think, wait, why is that guy there? There was no guy. The guy was Daddy Magic. Good for him.
Do you think Jack Perry's like still tied up? Have we like heard about his whereabouts?
I don't know. We haven't seen Anna Jay in a while, so maybe she went to go find him.
I need a segment of, they always show like the long shot, the drone shot, whatever it is, of Jack Perry like driving his bus to the arena, and then he parks, and he gets out, and the blah 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 blah. So he's driving the bus to the arena. So apparently he got free, but he gets pulled over by the cops. The cops are like, "Hey, you know, one of your headlights is busted." Jack Perry's like, "I know. I'm about to go fight the guy who did this." And the cop's like, "Well, that's assault." He's like, No. He kidnapped me and tied me up and broke my headlight." He's like, "Well, do you want to press charges?" Like, "No, I'm going to go fight him in a sanctioned fight." He's like, "Are you some type of wrestler? Are you a MMA fighter?" He's like, "Yes, I wrestle for a company, All Elite Wrestling." I've never heard of this All Elite Wrestling.
Do you know Roman Reigns? Do you know John Cena?
No, Joel, stop. Jack Perry's like, "Well, maybe not. But have you heard of the Costco guys? They are on the show tonight." And then the guy's like, "Oh, I love the Costco guys. They bring the boom." And that's how he gets out of the ticket.
Then a few months later, when they're back in Philadelphia, he runs into that particular cop and he brings him a double chocolate chunk cookie. Boom! God, I hate it here. This is our best and worst episode ever.
Now, Jack's above using like my father's Luke Perry. He's above.
Yeah, he's not doing that. He's not doing he's not. No, we're doing this. We're doing this right. We're doing the scapegoat style. No 90210.
Unless the cop can get all episodes of 90210 on Max. That's the only way we're using the 90210 leverage.
Do you think that does Perry or Garcia join the Moxley group after this? Because Garcia is currently going down a path that Moxley would have wanted, and Perry is about to potentially lose the TNT title, look like a bitch, but be like, "Look what I did to Danny Garcia," and like try to get his way into a group where they don't really care about him, like all groups that Jack Perry is involved with. What do you think? Who's going to join the Moxley group?
It feels like it's Jack Perry, because otherwise Jack Perry's just like kind of look like a bitch throughout this whole thing.
It's going to look like a bitch losing and then joining the Death Riders too. Unless Wheeler Yuta starts treating Jack Perry like a bitch, be like, "Haha, you're a loser." And then Perry's like, "So are you." And then they're just going to fight.
It feels like Jack Perry's joining this group. I do think he loses the title. What if the theme of this show is just a bunch of losers joining new groups? Ricochet loses, joins the Hurt Syndicate. Jack Perry loses, joins the Death Riders. Who else can lose and join a group? Who needs to join the Don Callis family?
Will Ospreay loses, joins the Don Callis family.
Just back in the Don Callis family.
The Acclaim split up.
Oh yeah. Maybe Max Caster joins the Don Callis family after he loses.
House of Black splits up. Malachi Black says he's leaving, but he's not really leaving. So Brody King goes to the Costco guys and joins them.
Hangman Page loses and joins the Elite again. He just says to work from home as well. It's just done.
I'm going home to Garden. That's like working from home, isn't it? Good enough. Oh my God.
Who joins the Learning Tree? Somebody's got to join the Learning Tree. MJF loses and joins the Learning Tree.
That's perfect. Jericho and MJF. Can't believe that hasn't been done again. MJF wins the Ring of Honor World Championship at Final Battle. The House of Boom.
I'd much rather watch the Costco guys all there.
God damn it.
Oh, that's true. Hangman can lose and join the Learning Tree because he's all about like gardening and shit on Blue Sky. Yeah. So that actually makes sense.
That's perfect. Hangman joins Jericho.
Hangman giving Jericho like tips. I was just like, no. You understand if a branch breaks, then you have to
prune the tree.
Yeah. It's like that episode of Saved by the Bell where they're doing like bonsai trimming and everything.
Why are we full of old, awful television references?
Saved by the Bell is timeless, though.
That's true.
Just like the retired Toni Storm. Who's not actually retired because Tony Khan was like, "Yeah, she'll be back."
You think they're going to have her show up at the show? on Saturday. I don't want it to happen. I don't want her to show up, especially now that they've been teasing the retirement bullshit.
Yeah, I'd actually like it better if she didn't, and they actually played into the retirement stuff. Like, I want Mariah May like bragging about like, yeah, Toni retired because she lost, and now she has no friends, and she can go make her silly little movies.
Mina needs to stand on her own. That's really what it comes down to. Because you're going to do Mina and Mariah at one point. And it felt like whatever this champagne celebration is supposed to be again, this time it would end up with Mina getting an upper hand or doing something to get the build started for a match at World's End. And then bring back Toni Storm. I keep saying this because I just don't want an extra month of Toni Storm not building her own match against Mariah May. I would rather Mariah has a good feud against Mina. This whole, like, I know a lot of people are talking about the the shaking your boobs thing and how serious are they taking each other. I think really they're just the idea here is that while they're both very smart and very good wrestlers, they've both also gotten by using kind of their looks to disarm other opponents. And as a result, these two are going to beat the shit out of each other. And yeah, Mina turns on Mariah, but in a way that Mariah is still the bad guy. Maybe Mariah is the one who knocks out Mina and says, I never trusted you. I never liked you. You were a pawn in my story. And then that's what gets us to World's End and has the match with Marina and Mariah. I don't think it's going to be a AEW Gravy Bowl match or any shit like that. No, I think the both women can wrestle. I think there's an amount of trust there that they're not going to go into that realm of things. I think just using the sex appeal for the Mina Shirakawa character is pretty common. She's been that way. And then Mariah teamed with her as well in Stardom. So let them, use some of that together to build whatever story they're telling. I wouldn't be like sounding the alarm on them using, boob shaking for 1 or 2 segments. They've also been making out. They did just bringing this back. Forbidden Door. This became like a 3-way joke with Toni Storm, and everyone kissed at the end. So like the sexual undertones have been there the entire time that Mina's been involved. Mina brings this like extra added sexual undertone to everything she does, but not in a tawdry way. She gets it and becomes a little over. It becomes very Japanese coded. Okay. It becomes very much like just overabundant bullshit, but that's also like very Japanese presentation. Sorry, go ahead.
Mariah is gonna hit Mina with a bottle of champagne, and that's gonna be that.
Easy as that. Just get out. Ken just sent me. I hate you, Ken. I have to stop looking at things that Ken sends me because he sends me very funny things that I'm going to put up on the screen. Okay. He does. That's why I'm cursing him because it's so funny. Oh God, I shouldn't be allowing this, but I'm going to indulge this. Hold on. And why aren't you loading? Come on, upload faster. Gigabit internet. You think it'd be faster than this? It's like, there it is. Boom! There it is. The Death Rizzlers.
Oh man, look how serious this group is.
Yeah, he's got that look on his face. Oh,
I wouldn't mess with that group.
I wouldn't mess with them either. You know who's taking that photo is Big Boom AJ.
Yeah.
He's the guy. Yeah. He's the guy. Awful. What are we doing here? Where am I? Where were we? What were we just talking about? Big Boom. We're talking about Costco Guys. The Rizzler's the puppet master.
That's hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That'd be the best payoff they could do.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Yeah, and then at the end of the show, don't apologize, Ken. You can always send more. if the meme strikes, make it. You know what? This whole thing ends with Mariah breaking the champagne glass over Mina's head, and then out come the Costco guys, and they're just like, you know what would make champagne taste better? Some double chocolate chunk cookies. Boom! And then they shake their boobs and they walk off stage.
It's like Peter Griffin. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
He's crying when he does that. That's sad. Oh my god. All right. Should we talk about the Mercedes stuff?
Yeah, this shit rules.
Well, Mercedes and Statlander aren't exactly going off and doing media for the next 2 days, so there goes that idea that we had. I think they're going to babyface what's her face, Camille. I really think Statlander's losing, and they're just going to go to Camille and Mercedes next.
I know you've been saying this, and I saw Sean say this as well, and
it sucks. I get it.
Yeah. They're not baby facing Camille. They're making her look dumb. Like, she gets in the ring. This segment was hilarious. These are the funniest segments every single week. I don't think that's the intention, but that's how they're coming across to me. I've already talked about the alleged vehicular homicide that they tried to do a couple weeks ago, which was so funny to me. This one was just as funny because you got Sheeta and Statlander in the ring, and they just had this match, and then they're friends because they're both baby faces and everything. And then Mercedes is like, go in there and go beat them up with your one arm. And Camille's like daintily walking into the ring because she's so hurt and injured. And then she's like, oh fuck, like, gotta do this shit. And then she takes like this just comedic bump to the outside because she only has one arm to protect herself going down and everything. And it's just like the baby faces look like kind of jerks because they're just beating up this one-armed woman as she's being thrown to the wolves here. And then Mercedes jumping on Statlander's back like multiple times. Just these are so funny. It's so funny to me. It's not good. It's not good at all.
It's not good. And Mercedes is going to retain, and Chris Statlander is going to go on to do whatever. Should be part of the Women's World Cup, whatever they're doing ahead of Wrestling Dynasty. And we'll go from there, I guess.
Yeah, Camille coming out like this week. She's in like a leg cast, everything. She's going to have a neck brace. One way she's gonna look like the fucking SpongeBob meme, the guy who's in like the full body cast and on life support as he needs SpongeBob and Patrick to sell his chocolate, everything. That's gonna be Camille. Sure, she's gonna turn on Mercedes, but like they haven't done. I don't have sympathy for Camille in this spot because they haven't built her as someone that Mercedes has needed. That's the problem. Is if they do the turn, I don't have the like, oh yeah, Camille's finally had enough. She's gonna turn on Mercedes. I just think Camille's look kind of dumb in these segments. And I'm just like, yeah, well, Mercedes is probably right in casting her aside because she's been pretty useless. So
well, she is dumb, all right.
Why? So why would Mercedes want her? These segments are so funny. So funny. Fools.
Newark, say hello to your double chocolate chunk cookie.
We need Mercedes doing the boom dance. We bring the
boom. Yeah. She's probably already done it for socials. It'll go up this week, I'm sure. Saturday. Boom! Yep.
Boom!
Costco's going to be so excited when all these AEW wrestlers have basically just protected all their wares. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't have much about the Statlander match. It sounded like such a good idea when they started building it, and now it's become rudderless, and I hate that. Because I wanted to see a really good match between Mercedes and Chris, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But like I expected a little more out there, but we haven't seen it. We've just seen the bumbling Camille. It's about it. That's been the story of this whole program.
Yeah, that's been the real story more than Statlander and Mercedes. It's like, how's the Camille gonna look stupid this week?
And that's why, like, when they started doing it, that's why I came to the show and I was just like, I don't think that Statlander's winning the TBS title. I think they're going to put it behind Camille and do a whole like bully babyface redemption arc, not bully Ray. That's a different person, different story arc. But instead, they're going to have Camille overcome her bully Mercedes and win the TBS title. And everyone's going to be like, okay, that'll be it.
Okay, but they got to have Camille actually help Mercedes on Saturday.
Or
because if she attempts to and Mercedes, but she fails again and Mercedes still wins, again, then you're just still looking like Camille is a big old idiot.
And yeah, because then Mercedes dresses down verbally Camille on Friday or on Wednesday, and that starts the Camille, is upset with Mercedes or smacks her or hits her, whatever.
Right, but this is the issue, Joel. She already looks like an idiot. So if Mercedes, I understand she's going to be a bully and like you're supposed to feel sympathy for Camille, but I don't have any sympathy for her if she keeps screwing up. If she's actually helpful, then it's like, wait, the only reason you're the champion is because of Camille. Oh, okay, yeah, you are kind of a jerk for now turning against her. Oh, I do feel sympathy for Camille. Camille has done nothing to earn any sympathy because she's not been helpful. If anything, I think Mercedes is in the right. Yeah, cast aside this dead weight. You know what? Get better at your job. And then you can earn your spot. But right now, I'm just like, yeah, Mercedes is justified. Justified, get the fuck out of here turn because you suck at your job.
Fair. I'll take it. But
so that's why Camille actually needs to be helpful on Saturday, because if she just tries to help and it backfires and Mercedes still win, then again, I'm on Mercedes' side. I'm like, yeah, Mercedes, you should cast her aside. She's been nothing but useless and a hindrance to you, and you're still the champion.
What if she tries to help and fails, but then ends up helping in like the most clownish way possible? Like steps on a banana peel and that helps Mercedes.
No, it's got to be like actual help.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's got to be Mercedes has lost this match and Camille puts her foot on the rope, whatever. And then Statlander does something and Camille hits her. She was faking the injury the whole time. She hits her with a pipe. Like it's got to be something that's actually helpful to Mercedes retaining the title, not this bullshit of, helpful by stupidity.
Fair. Will Chisholm sent a super chat saying Camille thought she was Rhea Ripley, but in AEW, but she's Raquel Gonzalez. And like, there's a certain amount of reality to that. I think a lot of people saw Camille. Okay, couple things. One, not everyone saw her entire reign in NWA. It's not like she was the most amazing wrestler ever and everyone was like shouting her praise. She got better over time, but you can only get so good in NWA with the talent you're working against when you are the top champion. There isn't a lot you can do other than working with the talent that you have. It's not a knock at everyone. It's just there are certain, plateaus that you hit. And as a result, she got seen as like the big dog in NWA. She held the title for 700 days. That was a big deal. And then everyone was excited to see her. But she's not being presented as the powerhouse. She's not being presented as the brick house. Right now, she's being presented as an idiot, as a bumbling fool, as
she's wearing as a brick.
With the smarts of a brick in this, well, in more ways than one. But like it just isn't, it's not fitting and it's not being presented as the way Camille was in NWA. And like AEW fans got a glimpse of her when they did the early crossover with NWA. And like she had the match with did she do a TR match? She did Thunder Rosa match.
That was an NWA match. She did
the legit Layla Hirsch match because everyone remembered using the meme for that one. Yeah, that one. But otherwise, like she was never the best wrestler in the room. She was always just a big, imposing woman in a world where women's wrestlers are a lot of like 5'2", not so jacked. And she's jacked and she's tall. Like she plays the part well, but she's not the best wrestler where the best allegedly wrestle.
First off, Will Chisholm, that super chat gets a big old boom! Boom! She doesn't need to be the best wrestler, though. She's not wrestling. She didn't come in there to be, oh, Camille's going to enhance the women's division and have these great banger matches. That's what Mercedes is supposed to be there for. Camille was brought in to be the heavy for Mercedes. She can play that role. That's a role she is very well suited for. They are making her out to be an idiot. That's a presentation problem. I don't think this is so much oh, Camille isn't good. Oh, does Camille regret going to AEW? I think if you pitch, hey, we're going to bring you in as the heavy for Mercedes, and you're basically going to be, I'm not saying this was their pitch, but you're going to be Diesel to her Shawn Michaels. That's a strong pitch. That's a strong looking duo there. The problem is they had made her Diesel. They had made her Sid. They made her Janetti just stumbling around looking like a dumbass.
That hurts. That hurts. Will Chisholm also asking, do y'all think she should have tried NXT? You want to do the thing?
Will Chisholm, that super chat gets a big old boom! Boom!
Do you think she should have tried NXT? I mean, I'm sure that she would have been presented with a different character of some sorts. Who's to know if she would have been popular? If she would have been effective?
I don't know where she fits. Obviously, you can fit anywhere, but they got so many talented women in NXT, and I don't know how they would have presented her there. But again, this is not an issue of, oh, Camille is in over her head in AEW because her in-ring work doesn't stand out compared to the rest of the women. She's supposed to be the heavy for Mercedes. It's an easy role to play. It's a role she should very easily work at. The problem is they're putting her in a position to not succeed. That's on the company. That's not so much on Camille. And you want to talk about women's presentation? There's one women's match on this show. I assume more will get added to the pre-show.
There's talk of a second match. Go over to FightfulSelect.com. There's talk of a Deonna Purrazzo match being added to the card.
If there's not a Deonna Purrazzo match on this show, somebody
drop the ball. Somebody drop the ball. And the thing is, the opponent that they're talking about for Deonna is not exactly the person I would have chosen, given it. And it's Anna Jay. They're talking about doing Anna Jay versus Deonna Purrazzo. And Anna Jay, who just lost the no disqualification women's title match and is probably going to lose this match. I don't know. It's again, you're off balancing the talent again, which is you're middling everybody. And that's why I'm like, you could have, Harley Cameron could have been good. It could have been a lot of different people. I don't think
Cameron's just losing every match too. Like,
but at least like Harley Cameron, if you're going to build Deonna, at least Harley Cameron's a perennial loser. Anna Jay is someone that they were trying to do something with, and you just had her lose the Women's World Championship match twice, and now she can't challenge as long as Mariah's the champion. So like, what are you going to do? You're going to have her lose some more? It doesn't really work for me, brother.
That should also be like an actual feud and not just a cold match on Full Gear. Maybe it would be the start of a feud, but I don't exactly have a whole lot of faith in the women's stories when they don't do much outside of the championship. So this was our fear with Deonna, right? Is she would come in, she immediately faced Toni Storm for the title, and then, oh, okay, what's next for her? Like, what are they going to do after the title? And she had a good feud with Thunder Rosa. The problem is that the feud went forever, and Deonna won every match, but then ended up losing the blow off. And then there's been no follow up since then. Thunder Rosa has done kind of funny stuff with Harley Cameron, and like it's been fine. And Deonna's been doing vignettes for 2 months now that has gone nowhere.
At some point, she's got on Rampage.
Yeah, at some point. I think they may have put on Collision at one point, but at some point, like they actually got to lead to something. And the best way is you lead it into a match, like a match with Deonna and Taya against somebody would be good. Like just give them a win, establish them as a team that can beat people, establish them all over again. Cause they've just been doing vignettes. And like the vignettes are fine, but like, you're the Vendetta. That's a cool name. I don't exactly know what this means. I don't exactly know who you're going after. I don't exactly know your purpose because you're just doing vignettes and drinking wine, which like fine, but like, don't y'all wrestle at some point?
Well, no, that's what their vendetta is against, not being able to wrestle. I agree. Again, I love Deonna. I've been covering Deonna for years. I covered her when she was in TNA. I talk about her husband now. And I have before, and I had high expectations for Deonna Purrazzo's presentation in AEW, but at the same time, we talked about the potential of every woman who comes in, or every wrestler, doesn't even matter, male or female. They come in, they get the title shot, and then they're shuffled down the card. And that's what's happened. And I hope that they build her back up, because it would be nice. But doing this because Deonna's from New Jersey and the show's in New Jersey, and Anna Jay is from Georgia, so that doesn't matter. But like, you could have picked anyone else. I wish they had picked somebody else for this match.
Well, we'll see if that's the match that ends up taking place. It's just been disappointing, the stuff with Deonna, because like the vignettes are good, and I was hoping it was actually gonna like lead to something. It just hasn't led to anything. I was hoping the whole feud with Thunder Rosa was gonna lead to something, and that hasn't really led to anything.
Yeah, you can only talk so positively about the women's division when you realize like they're giving women these stories. It's like what they are, but then they're not doing anything after the story ends. It's very rare that things actually go.
Well, now they're off. Now they're barely giving women stories. Like, you're getting one story per show. The women's title with Mariah May has lived on Collision, which is fine. And then the TBS title has lived on Dynamite. And then otherwise, there's been like no women's stuff happening on these television shows. There's one match. I think there was one match at the last pay-per-view too.
Yeah, there was only
I'm not counting the pre-show.
Yeah.
If you want to count the pre-show, fine. But those, let's be honest about where the pre-show is. Like, we love the Costco Guys stuff. We praised it this entire show. It's cool. It's great. But this is stuff that lives on socials. And specifically for the Costco Guys, we know why they're doing this. A match that is announced on the pre-show, or a match that is on the pre-show that's announced a day before the show, doesn't really count as any type of, oh, we gave you a story and we gave you time. You know, Harley Cameron and Anna Jay doing that match on the pre-show, like, fine. But that wasn't something that they put a whole lot of thought into outside of Anna Jay needs a win. Here's Harley Cameron. She's fun and gets over. Otherwise, there was the one women's match. There was Mariah and Willow, who just lost the TBS title going into a world title feud.
Just like
All out.
Just let Statlander win the Wrestle Dynasty women's whatever, and then she can get her CMLL World Women's title shot.
I'm a little concerned that with the C2 starting next week, which it'd be cool if we knew who was in that thing, that we're going to
know. Okada's there and he's going to win. That's all you need to know.
Like, we're going to get less women's stuff, because you're going to have 4 pretty long matches on each show, on top of your main event stuff, on top of whatever your undercard stuff might be. The women might be squeezed out again on all this.
Hope you're wrong, but I understand why you would feel that way. Ryan Lambert sent a super chat saying lack of Costco cookie eating on ITW is odd. There's no Costco near here, but there.
I don't know where Costco is around here, honestly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where the nearest Costco. I live in a pretty busy area. Like, I go that way, there's a supermarket. I go that way, there's a supermarket, but there's no Costco anywhere nearby. You want to give them the thing?
Ryan, sorry, we don't have Costco cookies, but your super chat gets a big old boom! Boom!
I like that you do the boom after they do the boom.
Yeah, well, you gotta be boomed up, baby.
This is a good idea. And I know this is like, listen, I know we're talking about just throwing Rampage into the void at this point.
Yeah, you were just buried Rampage. Like, it's a meaningless show. Anyway, here's all the women's matches.
I hate to say it like that. Like, you shouldn't be doing it this way, but at this point, it's almost like you just, here they are. It doesn't work, but it's like, this is the best we got. And I don't love it, but like, it's there, at least for the duration of the C2. And then hopefully they tell some stories on Rampage. And like I said, AEW just says, F it, full Rampage from November 22nd. Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because Rampage is taped for the next 2 weeks anyway. And spoiler alert, I don't think there's more than one women's match on either show.
For Rampage?
For Rampage. For the next 2 weeks.
Oh. Yeah, they're doing the tag team match with Marina and
Maya.
Yeah, Mina and Mariah. I always just combine the two.
Oh yeah, because it's Marina Shafir. Yeah. They need to change names immediately. Everybody, new names.
Yeah, so they're doing Mina and Mariah against Nyla and Harley Cameron. Even though I'm pretty sure like Harley Cameron and Nyla were against each other when Harley and Saraya were feuding with Nia. I feel like that's a thing.
Hold on.
What?
The other match. I just saw the other match. I don't want to spoil it, but holy shit. The other women's match is hilarious for the next week's show.
Oh, I remember what it is.
Yeah. They're giving someone a gimmick for that show, and it's going to be very funny. Okay, I give them full marks for that. They better post the full episode of Rampage just for that. Oh, great. So they'll have one women's match on each episode of Rampage. There you go. Still not good enough, but it is what it is. It is how it is. Hey, but here's something good. Kylie Rae got the WWE ID gimmick last night at Freelance. What was very funny is that when they announced, hey, we're going to ID somebody at Freelance, Kylie Rae was like, who could it be? Everyone's like, it's you. And it was. And good for her. She's excited. People are excited for her. Kylie Rae had some experience working WWE TV recently. She did Main Event not too long ago. And this is an opportunity for her to have that second chance that she's been talking about. So very, very fun news for Kylie Rae.
Yeah, good on Kylie Rae. I saw that last night. And we'll see what it leads to. So Tony Khan mentioned the WWE ID stuff. He was asked about it. And he was like, let me make sure I get Tony's words correct here. I want to miss.
There were a lot of words. He does say a lot of words.
It felt like he toned down his word count, which good on him. I don't know if somebody
he had 9 coffees instead of 20. He cut down on the caffeine. The double cups were just a single cup.
Double chocolate chunk coffee.
Thank you for pulling that one out because it was very good.
So Tony says, I have thoughts on it. I'll reserve my judgment until I actually test such a mechanism. Do it, Tony. Make the offer. See what happens if you make the offer. He says, I'm not completely sure how those deals are going to work. I've heard some stuff about it. There have been matching rights with people that have signed with them, which would be interesting. I will reserve my judgment until I actually test such a mechanism. I only know what I've read.
Sure.
Make the offer.
Make the offer. Ken Bruno saying, touch the stove, Tony. Touch the stove. Hot water burn baby. Hot water burn baby. Sorry, we're doing more Adam Sandler stuff here.
Okay. Just do it. Just make the offer and see what happens.
Yep.
I want to know. Brett Lauderdale also commented on it, and he basically said nothing's really changed. He still books talent. There's no restrictions on who he can book and how they get booked. He said maybe at some point that it'll become a conversation, but for right now, nothing's really changed.
I think it'd be really funny if like this super show that they're doing, the ID super show, is just a way for them to be like, see, WWE ID talent can lose. And meanwhile, we've been sitting here being like, they've been losing. It's fine. They've been losing. Not everyone is a super high level talent. Someone in the chat had asked if Kylie was who Sean was pointing at as like the big surprise, the bigger echelon talent, and Kylie was that talent. And again, good for her. Very excited for her. She deserves it. She's had such a strange relationship with wrestling, especially over the last few years. Stepped away, had a kid and all that. And of course, everyone knows when she was, signed by AEW and everything that happened there. And now she's back and she's been given another opportunity and she's taken it seriously. She's had other, addiction issues in the past that she's been very open about. So for her to come back and take this opportunity under her belt. It's a big deal for her, and we take moments to celebrate that kind of stuff when presented that opportunity. So good for Kylie Rae. Looking forward to her ascent with this program.
Yeah, hopefully she is in, just good spirits and good spot. That's the main thing, because she's been through a lot, and she's had some opportunities, and for one reason or another, they didn't fully pan out how I think a lot of people would hope they were going to pan out. And so hopefully she's just in a good spot with everything.
Exactly. Did you cover TNA last night? Did you watch TNA last night?
I watched it, but not really covered too much of it.
I more just want to talk about the Macklin video package, if you got a chance to watch that.
Yeah.
I put it over on the post show, and I said I would talk about it today. If you have a chance, if you watch anything from TNA, I know that we clown a lot on TNA stuff and joke about it, but this is one video that I think a lot of people should go out of their way to watch. If you don't watch TNA regularly, you probably won't fully understand it. But if you're looking for something that was shot very well, has some sort of gravitas to it, and also tells a bit of a story within it, this Macklin video was really good. Essentially, just to catch you up, Macklin is in the middle of this like babyface / crisis of confidence / trying to figure out who he is type of mentality, and Eric Young is part of it as well. But Eric Young is almost taking on an avatar role to Macklin as like his conscience. And this video was really, really well shot, really well put together. And it's starting to tell the story of Macklin's background as a service member, as someone who fought, who also saw combat experience, but also served in U.S. Marines. So this video was ahead of TNA this past Thursday. I was kind of told, you're going to want to watch this. It's really, really good. And I joked with certain people. I was just like, what is it? Macklin driving around in a car for 30 minutes again? Like, what are we doing? Because that was the end of last week's show. Macklin gets in a car, drives away, and they kind of left you on the Marvel ending. And then they said, it's a little better than that. And they were right. It was really good. It's on their socials. I know that we've posted it as well. We've reposted it on socials as well. This isn't the only video they're doing. They're going to be doing more. But Macklin is very not only involved with this, but also very much invested in this. And you can tell that the people involved are really into it as well. So I want to put it out there. It was really, really good stuff. And if you have any thoughts you want to add to it as well.
I thought it was really good. I saw Macklin comments on it. Deanna commented on it. Tom Hannafin, Eric Young, Brian Myers. So like a lot of the people in the company and outside the company were kind of praising and putting it over. It seemed like obviously Macklin had a very big hand in this. It's very possible he wrote the whole thing and produced the whole thing. Whatever, he did the whole thing himself outside of paying for it, because I assume TNA at least put that part in there. But it was all Macklin's vision. It was all stuff that he wanted to get across, and like it came across very well. And it's not an easy thing to do, and it's not only not an easy thing to like get across and portray it in a smart and genuine way, but not an easy thing to just talk about and open up about, I would imagine. So look, credit to Steve Macklin. We love Macklin. I do. I still think you dislike him. I still want him to kick your ass, but I appreciate Steve Macklin. I
tolerate him. I respect. Listen, pull the curtain back. I've had the opportunity to talk to him a couple times on camera and a little bit off, and we have a better relationship than we did when we started this show. How about that? He took me by surprise with this one in a good way, because for the longest time there were little barbs here and there about how he's presented and how he takes character work. This was clearly something that he's bought into because it's part of his experience, his lived experience, and he wants to put that all out there. So good, do that. And I hope that it enhances not just his character, but I also hope that in some ways it's therapeutic, because he is leaning on his reality, having PTSD, having those dreams of experience in combat. And Deanna said the same thing. This is you putting yourself out there for all the nights where you'd wake up in the middle of the night, sweaty and having a bad dream, and you tell me about it. Again, the buy-in is there, and I'm bought into it because he's bought into it. And I think that's a big way to go when you're a wrestler. If you're bought into your character and you're bought into your presentation, everyone sees it and they buy into it as well. And that's good stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
That's really it from TNA. TNA is just they're going to Turning Point. The show's going to be a WrestleCade. You're going to be a WrestleCade, right?
I don't think so.
You're not going. Okay. No. I'm going to stop telling people you're going. I'm just going to keep telling people you're going and Sean isn't going. I'm just going to really.
You can do that. I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed of like, oh, I thought Jeremy was going to be here. No one's looking for me, so that's fine.
Who'd he ever beat?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll just tell him. Anyway, yeah, they're doing the WrestleCade show. It'll be fine. Moose is gonna beat up Laredo Kid. Basically, what you can look forward to.
Basically, yeah.
But otherwise, whatever. TNA was fine, but that was really a standout package I wanted to draw attention to. Slaughterhouse is tonight, isn't it? MLW
tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow's the 23rd. I keep thinking today is Saturday. Is today Saturday?
No, it's a taped show. It's gonna get buried in coverage by AEW, but hopefully, I mean, it's taped, so they shouldn't have any production issues. It's just
there's always time. If it makes you feel any better, maybe the show will end with JBL bringing out a giant double chocolate chunk cookie. Boom! Could you imagine they show up on 2 shows in one night? They'll be Rick Boom.
Good.
That would rule.
Good. What else is running on Saturday? I think GCW's running a show. Can they do like
they're doing the morning though. Or not the morning, but I think they're afternoon for.
Okay, they can make it then.
Is that the Dream? That's the Dream On show?
Yeah, I think it's the Dream On show.
Yeah, I saw that there's an 11 o'clock like open, not a thing. Hey, what do you call it? A
meet and greet.
Yeah, because Jables is going to be there to cost Effie his match. Sorry.
I guess I can't run too late because it's like inside the mall. So the mall only stays open but so long.
Although it'd be funnier if they didn't. they kept them all open after hours just for that.
Okay, so the Costco guys can show up to GCW, get in there.
Yeah.
What?
That show's in New Jersey too.
So there you go. Easy. Oh, one thing that
they should show up at Bloodsport the next night.
Hell yeah, they should.
Rizzler should be on Bloodsport.
Rizzler just doing the Riz face, and the person just immediately taps out. Like the Riz has overwhelmed me. I gotta submit.
Amazing. That's it.
Why are you such a hater, Chris?
Damn, Chris.
You know what doesn't expire? All those great Costco coupons. Get them now, wherever your local Costco is.
Boom! I'm really glad you didn't say double chunk chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah,
they expire. They do expire. The pre-show is at 1 p.m. Eastern for Dream On, for GCW Dream On. So it is an afternoon show.
There you go.
Go and check that out. I'm sure the Costco guys will come in and lay the boom on Effie.
So if you're going to Full Gear, get ready to be handed out flyers for GCW. Just throwing that out there for everybody. The GCW street team is going to be working overtime, that they allegedly have, is going to be working overtime for GCW this weekend. Brett Lauderdale is rightfully a little salty over the hammer sign stuff.
He's a little salty. A little peeved about it. And I get it. And Effie was too. You know, on his podcast.
Effie was way more salty than Lauderdale.
Well, this is because Effie is salty. Like, I know Effie is fine, but like once that's done, Effie is salty is the next round for him. Poor Effie. One day he'll get it.
Yeah, Lauderdale was like, WWE and AEW would sue companies if they ran within 30 days of another one. And the GCW is not going to be suing anybody.
Probably not. Was there anything from the
real quickly? Arrival rules.
Yes,
I love Arrival. Former VXS, Violence X Suffering Wrestling. Isaac, the promoter, he's a good dude. So everyone should check out Arrival. I think it's going to air free on YouTube. I should double check myself, but their last show aired free on YouTube. I assume this one is going to be the same. But yeah, Arrival's running in New Jersey. Could be some surprises tonight. Don't know, but just heads up on that.
I'm looking to see if it says anything about airing on YouTube, but I don't see it yet. I'm looking on their Tweetler.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, YouTube/Wrestle Arrival. There's your free plug.
There you go.
There you go. Go to Wrestle Arrival. You can watch that. The show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Should be a good show.
And I don't know if they're sold out yet. They haven't said that they are, but yeah, if you want to go there and you're in Rutherford, you can go over to the Williams Center. Yeah, Wentz and Oku is a great match. It's going to get a lot of people excited.
They put together some good cards, and again, might be some surprises. If there's not, nobody come back and blame me. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Oh, Moose is on the card. Never mind, don't go. No, I'm just kidding.
X Division champion, brother.
That's true. He's in a tag match though, and Masha Slamovich is on the card. Homicide's on the card. Alec Price is on the card. Joey Janela's on the card. A lot of people that we like here. A lot of people that we like to see. Is that Myron Reed? Hell yeah! There we go. He's on the card as well. So go check it out. You want to see if a WWE ID person can lose a match? Go watch this show because Zeta Steele's taking on Masha Slamovich.
Yeah, I don't think the TNA Knockouts champion is going to be losing. So
just Ryan Lambert sending me Cookie U now. I don't think the Costco guys are going to NXT yet.
Man, they would rule in NXT. They should save Chase U.
Andre Chase comes out and he's like, before the show, before I lost all of Chase U, I sold Chase U to a consortium. And it was amazing. They didn't ask for money. Do you know what they asked for? They asked for 2 double chocolate chunk cookies. Boom! And then out they come and they bought Boom U.
They would kill.
Costco U. Can't be Costco U because of certain trademarks. But Boom U, let's go.
They would kill in NXT. Are you kidding me? They would rule that whole company.
Chunk U sounds like a fat camp. Let's go.
It's like heavyweights.
Exactly.
Buddy.
Oh god, that's awful. I love it. What else is there? Again, the Tony Khan media call was what it was. I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to
I don't remember it.
Dig into. Yeah, exactly.
It was fine. Tony, again, he was shorter than usual, so that was appreciated. Hopefully,
so he's usually pretty short. He's not a very tall man. Oh, you meant his words.
So that was fine. The media call. I don't remember what else happened on it. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, sure. Good. Everything's great. Everything's tremendous. People ask certain questions that don't need to be asked. And can someone ask him about the rankings?
Can somebody ask him about frame rates?
Someone should ask him about frame rates, but I do want to know about the rankings because they just disappeared again. And no one ever asked about it. Just like no one did. I also want someone to ask. I assume we're going to learn the Continental Classic competitors tomorrow. But remember last year they did the premiere of like, oh, here's the competitors. That was at least a week out, wasn't it?
You'd have to go back and look at our old YouTube because we did a Continental Classic.
Yeah, Continental Classic 2023 competitors revealed or whatever. All right, let's see. It was announced on November 23rd or November 22nd, which would have been
that's 1 year ago today.
Yeah. So the Continental Classic actually started on, I assume, again, the Thanksgiving, before the Thanksgiving episode, just like it did last year. So it started on, did it start on the 22nd? Oh, so they did day of, they announced the competitors?
No, did they?
It started Thanksgiving Eve was November 22nd. It looks like, yeah, the full entrance was November 22nd. That's when all the articles were. They waited till day of?
They announced the Classic. No, hold on.
Competitors were announced on November 18th.
And then the tournament began November 22nd.
Yeah, so the brackets were announced, or like who was in which block was November 22nd. That's still, announcing competitors November 18th. That's only 4 days.
Oh, there you go. TK said he wanted to wait until after Full Gear just in case of injuries. I mean, what does it matter? Because, Okada's going to win the whole thing anyway.
Like, that's fair about the injury thing. It's also just kind of lame because it feels like you're just wasting some hype. You're just wasting. People love, and Tony should know this. People love the bracketology stuff. People love let me predict the bracket. Let me predict how this is going to go. And you don't get any of that with this. That's like one of the things with the G1. Everyone does like a G1 pick'em. All the sickos, they do like the G1 pick'em and everything because it gets announced weeks ahead of time. And you don't get a chance to do that with the Continental Classic. And you would think that would be something they'd lean more into, but they just don't. So whatever.
Yeah, it just was. It's fine. Yeah, I didn't really pay much attention to the media call either. I'm just waiting.
Waiting for what?
Waiting for the announcement of the next of the Continental Classic competitors and the matches.
Oh, did they find Conor McGregor guilty?
Did
This
they?
might be some breaking news.
Oh, I haven't seen this yet.
Jury says McGregor assaulted Nikita Hand. He was accused of the R word.
Oh, not great. Not good. All right, let's see what's going on there in a few minutes. While we're waiting for that to come through, do you want to do the SmackDown stuff? There's only a couple things on the docket.
Yeah, there's not too much there.
You've got Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes will go face to face, and I'm sure that'll end with a match being announced somewhere down the line. Maybe it's Saturday night's main event, or maybe it's this next weekend at Survivor Series. And then, of course, the U.S. title tournament continues. Chelsea Green, Bianca Belair, and Blair Davenport. I'm sure Blair Davenport's ready to lie down and lose the match to Chelsea Green. Maybe Bianca Belair. Watch Blair Davenport get the win, and we all just look at each other like, what are we doing here? That's it. That's all that's announced for SmackDown.
Yeah, there's not too much going on there. I think Chelsea will probably win, and she will Chopin the other person in the match, not Bianca.
Sure. Have you found anything else?
I'm looking at this McGregor stuff.
All right, then. Yeah, I haven't found any. Looked at anything. I see that.
I mean, it's they found him guilty. That's it.
Yeah.
So, it said that the issue of costs will be dealt with next week. So I guess he's not going to jail or anything. He's just gonna pay some money, and that's that.
All right, there you have it. I'm sure that other people will break that down, but that's just what we have. Is there anything else we need to get through? Are you bought in for Full Gear? Are you like, oh, I'm bought in, but like, how are you feeling going into Full Gear? You know, the wrestlers are going to wrestle. They've announced a bunch of matches. I'm sure they'll announce a couple more. Are you excited for the show? Are you looking forward to it? Are you just like going to do your job? How are you feeling going into the show?
Yeah, I mean, I got a job to do on Saturday, and that's gonna be that. Like the show is gonna be fine. I always know these AEW shows are gonna be good. Do I have a level of investment in this show that I've had previously? No, but the previous shows were All In, which had Bryan Danielson potentially retiring or winning the world title. All Out, which had Swerve and Hangman. Wrestle Dream, which had Moxley and Danielson. So those were three big matches that I was really sold on those shows. On top of, you know, some undercard stuff that I thought was going to be good.
Disrespect to Danielson and Jack Perry. Can't believe you.
And look, I didn't have much into that. I love Bryan Danielson, but that match
I know.
Wasn't setting the world on fire for me. This show doesn't have that match for me. That's what it comes down to, is this show just doesn't have, it's not even so much doesn't have a Bryan Danielson match, because I just said Swerve and Hangman was the reason for All Out for me. This show just doesn't have that, oh, I can't wait to see this match and what's going to happen in this match. I think the matches will be good. I think some stuff will happen that I'll enjoy, whether it's a turn or return or something like that. But going into it, there's no match where I'm like, can't wait to see how this plays out in what they're going to do. I am curious about the main event, not so much of the result, because I think John Moxley is going to win, but what's the aftermath of that? Do we get people coming out to try to save AEW? Does Darby come out? Is there a return? Is it Kenny? Is it Eddie Kingston? Is it somebody else? Like, what's going to happen there? I would be curious to see that, but yeah, otherwise there's good matches. You know, MCAP says Fletcher and Ospreay, that's gonna be great. Takeshita and Ricochet, that's gonna be great. Like, there's really good matches. Bobby Lashley and Swerve is gonna be great. I think John Moxley and Orange Cassidy is gonna be great. The matches are not gonna be the issue.
It's just the story itself. Stories in this case.
Yeah, the stories, the stuff going into this hasn't inspired me too much.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm looking again. I've called it an ensemble show. It's very much from top to bottom. Not one match is shining above the rest. You could make the argument that, you know, every match has its quality or its strength, but nothing is like the most amazing match. And for those asking, where's Hologram? Hologram's been injured for the last couple of weeks. We don't know when he's expected back, but he's out. He's injured. He got injured in the Wrestle Dream match against Beast Mortos. At least that's when they made the announcement that he's injured. So we haven't seen him since. Hopefully he's back soon. They've started selling his masks. That was a step in the right direction, but merchandise wise and selling wise. But yeah, I'm just looking at the card, and everything has its place, but nothing has been built on its own like pedestal. You could have done that with Takeshita and Ricochet. You started, but it kind of went with the whimper when last night at like 10 o'clock, it almost felt like Tony was like, oh shit, we didn't announce that match yet. So we had to go and announce it.
And that was weird that they announced it.
It was
just
the match
online.
We were all expecting it, but nothing was ever made official. That's something you would have made official on Wednesday at the latest, but instead they pushed it to Thursday. Don't know why. Moxley and Cassidy, again, there's been the bill, but it hasn't been as hot as it could be. Feels like you're really just going towards the eventual Darby Moxley match. Ospreay and Fletcher has been very well told as a story. There is history there. At the same time, the Mark Davis side of things has kind of muddied it in a way, but it hasn't taken away. It's just felt strange. And then pairing Takeshita with Fletcher again has made Takeshita look first and Fletcher look secondary, which doesn't exactly help. So it's very strange. Just like the way that people have been presented together and apart has made each match like lose its level of importance. Perry and Garcia, that's been built the way it's been built. Some people have loved it. Some people haven't. Swerve and Bobby, I think, is a really solid match that people are looking forward to. But again, it's like, what are we doing? Like, it's Lashley's first big match, and Swerve is Swerve. People like Swerve. Mercedes and Chris, we talked about that one already. Someone just needs to commit vehicular homicide and then you get it over. The four-way tag, Private Party dropping those titles that quickly would be a big shock, but otherwise people are just waiting for either the Acclaimed are going to break up or FTR is going to cost the Outrunners or something like that. Like, something's going to happen, but Private Party is going to win. Jay White and Hangman is a match that's like really interesting because they've done it and they're running it back, but they haven't. It doesn't feel like it's important on this card. Like, am I wrong? Does it feel like it matters much?
I thought the Hangman promo was good on Wednesday. Maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't feel like either of these guys have been on TV in forever. It feels like it's been very.
They did the tag match last week.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like it's been very swallowed up though, but they did a tag match, but that was, in conjunction. It was still their story, but like Christian was part of it, and Juice Robinson was part of it. Like it was there, but it didn't feel super important. Is Hangman still hurt? He was selling his leg, and now he's like not selling his leg.
I feel like it was always part of the sell. I don't think it was.
I mean, it was part of the sell, but I thought they were going to do a little bit more with that, and they really haven't.
I think then they realized they had to do that with Adam Cole one week, and then they had to do that with Powerhouse Hobbs this past week. There's only so many times you can have a wrestler, go out and then come back. No, don't need that anymore. And MJF and Roddy Strong we talked about, but really the main event is what we're all here for. And that's, you're going to get ready. You're going to sit down at your desk or on your favorite easy chair, whatever you're going to do, maybe with the family, maybe not. And with you will be a giant platter of double chocolate chunk cookies. Boom! Took you a minute, and that's going to be the Costco Guys and QT Marshall. Big Boom Major.
That's the main event. That's the match I'm looking forward to.
Listen, the fact that Full Gear is going to be over by like 7:30 p.m. Eastern, that rules. Cookies. But yeah, that's what we're looking forward to the Full Gear. It's going to be a lot of matches. They're going to be good. It's a 9-match card right now, not including the main event with Big Boom and QT. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and we'll talk about it on Monday, won't we?
Yes, we've also got a guest on Monday.
Oh, we do. Should we tell them about the guest?
Yes.
Well, when Fightful Select announces that there's a new MLW signing, guess who talks to them? I don't know why. The second it went out, I was like, oh, so we're interviewing Cruel. So Matt Kruger is going to be joining us on Monday, talking about MLW, and we'll talk about Slaughterhouse, and we'll talk about his new deal with MLW and everything that encompasses that. You can get all the information about the new deal over on FightfulSelect.com. The best $5 in the business. But Cruel is going to be joining us. Sorry, Matt Kruger is going to be joining us at
10 a.m.
10 a.m. right at the top of the show. My God, you think he shows up on time? He's a scary man. Do you think he's a punctual, scary man?
Yeah, we've had him on Spotlight before. He's very fun.
I'm sure he is, but I mean, the idea of him being like showing up to these things, is he gonna do with the gimmick?
Wait, hold on. I saw like he released they just dropped the whole album today. All right, let's wrap this show up. Who gives a shit about this?
We're done. Jeremy, anything to plug?
No.
Maybe that Kendrick album, but we'll be back on Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, as we always are. If you haven't already, drop a thumbs up on the video. And of course, comment. Tell us about how excited you are for Full Gear or not. That's okay too. If you are, great. If you're not, well, just go enjoy your weekend. Watch SmackDown, watch whatever. Don't watch wrestling. I don't care. For Jeremy Lambert, I am at
Wait. We got a lot to do here at the end here, Joel.
Yeah, I know. We gotta get a few things queued up. First of all, we need a double chocolate chunk cookie. Boom! Did it myself that time. And Jeremy, do you want to cue this up or should I?
Mana, the final boss. And here we go. This is how good. The final. God damn, that's good shit.
And here we go. God damn, that's good shit. Mana, everybody.
Boom! God, we're useless.
Boom!
Boom! Mana! Boom!
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, we have the binary. It doesn't get much better than this. We'll see you on Monday. Cheers.